but you know one reason why that didn't happen.
Why?
When two guys got that crazy power like that,
shit, bro.
he said, "Shut that shit up."
No, that's that soft shit. Nigga. You do everybody else like that, but then he was like, look, I send guys to the king. I ain't trying to go to him. What up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Brick Brother Podcast. It's your boy Joaquin Newmaster Buckley with my brother
Edrick Dillard.
Y'all already know what it is, man. If y'all new to our channel, man, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button at the bottom. Hit that bell for notifications, man, whenever we lock in. But yeah, bro, some dope fights that happened this past weekend, bro. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, the UFC was in New Orleans. Obviously, the BMF title was on the line. Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway. Man, it lived up to expectations. Was there anything from that fight just that you saw that was interesting or stuck out to you? Just give me your general thoughts on that.
I mean, it was with Max Holloway and DP. I ain't gonna lie, I was talking a lot of stuff, bro. So I gotta just live on that. Dustin Poirier, man, walking out with Lil Wayne. You know what I'm saying? In the beginning, right? I think it was cool, but I feel like that could have probably messed up his thing. Cause did he ever walk out to Lil Wayne, or was it always,
No.
you know what I'm saying? Was it always like pay the cost to be the boss, whatever? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like he should have kept that
Everything
same
the same.
tradition going. But I mean, it's cool that Lil Wayne popped out, but shit, Lil Wayne was just there. You know what I mean? My man ain't perform. He ain't rap a lyric. You know what I'm saying?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Because Dana, that's why I was surprised, because Dana said he had never let them do that. You know how they do that for boxing? You come out and you be like,
I mean, he didn't though.
yeah.
All he did was
But I
walk
think it would
out,
have been a little doper if Wayne was actually rapping. But go
Right,
ahead, continue, I'm
having,
sorry.
yeah, no, but all I'm saying is it's just like, you know, stick to the recipe, stick to what you do traditionally, bro. But no, I mean, Max Holloway, he showed out that night, bro. He did his thing. It's not much that I can critique with Max Holloway that night. I'm talking about, bro, he looked superb, bro. The hand speed from Max Holloway was crazy. Just the creative, you know, throws and the kicks, man, that he had. The constant pressure that he put on Dustin Poirier. But one thing I would give Poirier, boy, that he could take some shots, bro. Like them body kicks he was eating, bro, all day in that fight. And you could see the wince. Like, you see him, but he'll come back and try to fire back at Max Holloway. So, I mean, it was an incredible fight between both of those two dudes, you know. But, you know, DP just couldn't get it done that night, you know. And I feel like he was kind of behind that, you know, the ball the whole time, unfortunately, and just couldn't, you know, figure out his rhythm.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny, right? This fight reminded me a lot of the second fight. Max just seemed to land impactful shots. It seemed like in the second time they fought at 55, you know, the first time they fought at 55, but their second fight, that every single time Dustin would land, it would just have way more of an effect on Max than it did Dustin. I thought Max did a good job of landing in the first fight, but he just was never really able to hurt Dustin. And it seemed like Dustin, they said he never got dropped in that second fight, but it seemed like Max was as close as possible to buckling, a few times. So it was just interesting to see Max power translate this time. That was really the difference. You know, I didn't think that Max wouldn't be effective from a striking standpoint. If you look at Max, his significant strike output versus what he takes, he always lands shots. It's just not being able to put that damage on Dustin Poirier. But this time he had Dustin hitting the stanky leg and hurt and affected. But as you said before, Dustin Poirier's ability to be be unfazed, to be tough, and because I thought he was gonna get him out of there. I think it was the first round.
Yeah,
he was in a lot of trouble.
Yeah,
so I was really surprised by that.
You know, I just saw for me with Dustin Poirier, just not able to switch it up. And the crazy part is I think when he did rock him, or when he did hurt him, he jumped the guillotine. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that upset me because I thought he could have put him away if he didn't jump guillotine.
If he would have just threw the hands in, but. My man think he'll box out there. You know, he think he'll street fighter. He pulling up the shorts, man. You see the tan lines, man. You should be pulling up your shorts all that week to get that tan line in order. But regardless, though, it was still an incredible fight between both of them. But I just wish Dustin Poirier would have made some adjustments in that fight, some well-needed adjustments, man. And, would have went off with, taking that BMF belt back home with him. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't got to hear about it no more.
Right. I agree because the first two rounds were so definitive in my opinion, Max winning them, the next 3 rounds were pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really have a strong opinion of who won 3, 4, and 5. But I was for damn sure Max won 1 and 2. That was like from my recollection. So I guess my question: did you score it the same way? Did you have Max Holloway winning that fight?
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, bro, it was a major stretch, bro, from Max Holloway. I like that little last little 10. So that's what one thing, bro. Me knowing who Max is, unfortunately, if we fighting, we fighting. But as soon as you do this and trying to make, I would have popped
Yeah.
it right there. Trying to make this whole agreement like, yeah, we're gonna send this to you. Yeah, you sure right. Boom, I would have just clocked his ass. But regardless, though, you know what I mean, it was still a well fan pleasing fight for sure.
Of course.
Mhm.
I mean, we know what we were gonna get. That's what I said. No,
Mhm.
as far as the implications, I didn't care. I still don't want to
Yeah.
necessarily see it, which I get to in a second. Him fight to Poirier. We'll discuss what's next for Max. But I knew both of them. I've never seen Max Holloway in a boring fight. You've never seen Dustin Poirier in a boring
Yeah,
fight.
no.
They both come to fight. We know
Mhm.
exactly what they do. So I knew I wouldn't be underwhelmed as far as the actual competition, from an entertainment standpoint.
Mhm.
But what does this do to move us further? That's what I was kind of looking for. Because it was just kind of a random fight that just ended up happening. I think the second fight came on short notice. It was
Yep,
just
it
kind of
did.
it was just kind of a thing that happened. So with that being said, Dustin Poirier obviously put his gloves down in the cage. We knew what was coming.
Yeah.
The UFC had a good program for Dustin, and you saw
Yeah.
Theo Vine and all the celebrities out for Dustin. And I think he had a great send off. What do you think about Dustin's legacy in the UFC?
Man, just talk about grit, bro. Resilience, man. Just unstoppable will, you know what I mean, to always try to, obtain that title, even though you never won the belt, the actual belt. You won the interim, you know what I
Interim
mean?
for sure.
But regardless though, just always never wavering, man. You talk about from the early days of being on, Netflix and stuff like
Yeah.
that, man, and just seeing, how he was able to climb up into the regional shows and then climb up into, the UFC. And I mean, I'm talking about a long career, bro, with amazing fights. And like you said, bro, can't even pick out a boring fight, from his catalog. And with that being said, man, I feel like he's definitely one of those fighters, man, that's gonna be remembered for a lifetime, man, for the impact that he put into the game.
Definitely. For me to see just how far Dustin Poirier has come, like you were talking about Netflix and watching, us watching Fightville
Yeah,
and
fight,
see him
yeah.
on there. And I think right as we got into MMA in general, that was when Dustin was kind of making the start to the UFC.
Mhm.
That's like when I first got into training and everything like that. And, obviously I was a fan before, but like really getting myself into it and being like, oh, okay, this dude from Lafayette, Louisiana, if he could do it, I know I could do it too. And to see, how far he came, just amazing. Where do you rank him as far as all-time lightweights?
Man, you got to put him up there, bro. He didn't fought them all. He fought them every single one of them. But all time, he definitely top 10 for me.
Top 10, definitely.
Mhm.
I saw people saying top 5, and I don't want to be disrespectful, especially in lieu of his retirement. But I really have him probably closer to the back end. No, I won't say back end, but 7, maybe 6, 7.
That's still all time.
Yeah,
though,
but
you know what I
but
mean?
that's no disrespect.
Right.
I think it's just very difficult to put him over guys like the Frankie Edgars. Obviously, you have Islam Habib, Charles Oliveira, BJ Penn. Guys like that. It's just really that top 5 slots are really hard to put him in. But as far as anybody else in the division, I think it's an interesting conversation. But without even holding undisputed gold, to put somebody up that high just shows the way Dustin fought, his ability to take on anybody, beating Conor McGregor twice, just all those things. So it was awesome. Going forward, what do you think? What's next for Max Holloway?
That's a good question, man. I love the way he looked, bro, last night, bro, especially at 155. I think it's a better weight class for him
I
too,
agree.
to be honest. A lot more fresher. But they talking about him still having a great possibility of fighting Edrick Poirer. And I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, I like how he looked last night, but leave that brother alone. I feel like what would be a good fight for Max Holloway right now? I think something fun, like another great striking bout with somebody.
Him and
And then
Oliveira running the back. I think that'd be a hell of a fight.
Oliveira and him fought?
Yeah, 45.
Oh, they
back in the day.
did back
Yeah.
way. That's way back in the
Yeah.
day. That's actually That's actually.
I think that'd be
That's actually a great fight. You know what I mean? You are gonna have to give Charles Oliveira some time to better get up out that casket. But
I mean, I
but
think Max need a
regardless,
little.
so,
I think
yeah,
Max need a
nah.
little time too.
Yeah. But no, that's actually a perfect matchup. Actually,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Because I think what's different, right? So now that we're looking at like what happened in that particular fight, I think one thing that Dustin was lacking that Max did a phenomenal job of was his movement after his combinations.
Every time. Yeah.
Dustin Poirier was staying in the pocket and not shifting or not moving forward or laterally after, and that made him to be more susceptible to being countered. But Max would do a really good job. You even saw his corner saying it, don't stay in the pocket too long. Why, like he land his 3-punch combination and then he would get out of dodge. He would land, a good combination with a kick and then he would, pivot out or whatever he had to do. He was moving on all planes. He did a really good job. And I think that's one of the differences between him and a lot of 55ers. But the only difference is when you talk about Ilia Topuria, he has good movement as well, and you've already seen this at 145.
Yeah, and the thing about his shifting is not to move away from you; it's to block your movement and
right?
trap you. Like, yeah. So regardless, though, man, he did a great job, bro.
That was a fantastic.
But no, you made a great call out with that. Charles Oliveira and Max Holloway make perfect sense.
I would love to see that. I think that makes far more sense. In the co-main event, we had Paulo Costa, who defeated Roman Kopylov. He snapped a two-fight skid. Costa was in a little bit of hot water, in my opinion, as far as his recent performances and where we once put him. What do you think this fight did for him and his performance there?
It was good. It was a good competitive fight between both of those guys. Especially with Kopylov. I was expecting more, high kicks from him a little bit and more of those jabs being shot out a little faster. But he had to respect that power of Paulo Costa because he was throwing them head kicks for sure. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And he was winging them power shots for sure. He landed a couple good shots. I think he dropped Kopylov, if I'm not mistaken, with a straight boom right on his nose. But overall, I think Paulo Costa, he did enough to get that win.
Oh, definitely.
But it was definitely a competitive fight, nonetheless. But he needed that win at the end of the day. So he made it happen.
For sure. I think one thing for Kopylov, I think the lights might have been, and not to take anything away from Paulo Costa, because Paulo Costa looked great. You spoke about before his ability to kick. In the previous show, you talked about his ability to throw those kicks, and we spoke about the power and the ways he can make it interesting. We thought maybe he would introduce a little grappling in against Kopylov, but he did a really good job of striking in the way that he does to be really effective. And we got a reminder of what got him to be, in title contention, fighting, guys like Yoel Romero, so on and so forth. But I thought that Roman Kopylov didn't fight his usual style of fight. Seemed like he was a bit tentative, and Power does that, right? I don't know if the lights were too big. This is probably, obviously, the biggest opportunity. I don't even remember him really fighting in many co-main or main events, but then you throw that on one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year as far as, Dustin's retirement, all this, that. So I thought Roman fought too tentative, and that only played into Paulo Costa's hand, right? We know that Paulo Costa can get a bit tired. He carries a lot of muscle, and Kopylov was very tentative. I feel like he never really got started, and then by the time he did in the third round, it was just too late, But with that being said, what would you want to see next for Paulo Costa?
Paulo Costa, man, 185 still. You got to give him a fun, interesting fight. And to be honest, I think that fight already booked between MVP and Jared. Because I'm about to say Jared Cannonier and Paulo Costa never fought, have it?
I don't think they have.
No, that'd be a fun fight, in my opinion. But I think that matchup is already made with MVP. I don't know, just a fun, interesting name. So somebody up there, but just a good name for Paulo Costa to fight. To work his way up, trying to get that belt. That's it.
I say any ranked guy for real. I don't know if Fluffy's booked. I know he's probably ranked pretty high, but I think that'd be interesting for us to see. Because Costa still has that name and looked really good coming off that victory with Kopylov. But, even potentially him or you want to see him ideally get somebody with a win, but even Vittori, I think that'd be cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. But, yeah. Let's get to some of the other fights we had. Daniel, your boy D-Rod uh,
Hey,
get a victory over Kevin Holland.
yeah,
You
yeah,
want
yeah.
to share any thoughts on that fight? Kind of give your breakdown, your take. Somebody that you spent some time in the octagon with, for
Yeah,
Kevin
man.
Holland,
Yeah,
and
yeah. Definitely know that man.
a fair amount of back and forths over the years.
I would say this, man. I expected Kevin Holland to get the job done, but in this fight, I was intrigued by some of the things that he did. But I feel like with all the activity that he's been having, it just shows, man. Sometimes you got to take a break, man, and kind of really, crispen up with certain techniques. Cause he left himself open for a lot of goofy things to get caught with, man. He got rocked bad by D-Rod a couple times, man. I think what the second round. And I feel like D-Rod, not the most talented anywhere, but just tough, bro. Just durable, got good power on him. But if you don't give him something to worry about, then he just gonna keep walking you down and keep throwing some massive shots. So I feel like Kevin wasn't as accurate as he usually is. Was very sloppy with his punches, winging all the shots all over the. I mean, my man Denner hit the cameraman, dog, trying to wipe out on D-Rod. And I feel like, a lot of those things, bro, you can tighten up your shots a little bit. And when you do that, even though he has that length, whatever, and the longest reach and the welterweight division, I feel as if sometimes that can be his downfall too, right? Because his hooks is crazy long when they don't have to be. His uppercuts miss, you know what I mean, from a long range too as well. But all you gotta do is tighten things up, man, and you can really hurt guys. I believe they had a transition within that fight where they was in a clinch and he did some good work, tighten him up a little bit, but then he went back into that long loopy shots where D-Rod was able to hug him up a little bit, man, and kind of get into a clinch. But I will say this about Kev, man. I guess that dude been working on his wrestling a little bit because he did do a clean double leg. I got to give him
He
that, bro.
did.
He
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 did.
shot in on D-Rod, picked him up, boo, and slammed him and whatnot. But yet again, I feel like there's certain things within that fight that my man showed a lot of different holes, even with D-Rod too. But great fight though. At the end of the day, it was fun. It was competitive. Very close matchup. It could have went either way in that fight.
Got you. I thought D-Rod did a fantastic job of not respecting Kevin Holland's distance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Holland does have a very long reach, but sometimes he doesn't keep his space the best. He allows guys to come in. You saw Max Holloway do a really good job of keeping that distance control over Dustin Poirier with teeps and kicks and good jabs and long 1-2 combinations. Kevin Holland doesn't always do that. So D-Rod was able to kind of cross that void whenever he
Mm-hmm.
wanted to. Kind of what I expected as far as stylistics of the fight, as I mentioned before. Not necessarily the two fighters that you would look at and say, this is textbook how I would coach a kickboxing class or a Muay Thai class, but, entertaining. I knew what we were going to get. You have a hard-nosed guy who always comes forward, and then Kevin Holland, who's never really been in a boring fight either,
Mm-hmm.
I was just surprised by Kevin Holland not really able to establish his distance and not to really control D-Rod with his grappling. Rodriguez was always able to get his way up,
Yep. Reverse.
reverse, and then get back to striking. So I thought once it went to the ground, that Holland, probably have a lot of success. But you saw Kevin Holland jump to submissions without really setting things up properly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one thing about Kevin Holland, he's a finisher, and sometimes that can play into your opponent's hand because you look to finish before you set things up properly,
Right.
right? Just knowing that you can get a Darce or knock somebody else. You want the perfect shot instead of saying
Right.
I'll win this decision the way that
Right.
that's the smartest way to win it. But for me, um, I thought D-Rod did a really good job. I think it was 2-1 in my eyes. I think I had D-Rod up the first two rounds and Kevin Holland win the third. I think that's what I had it. But it was very entertaining. I guess what do you think? Do you think D-Rod should be ranked on Monday morning? And
He will be. That's the name of the game. You know what I mean? Kevin Holland was ranked at the time. D-Rod just beat him. So you get his number. You take what he got, right?
got you.
So it's to take business.
Well, I'm here with the welterweight who is ranked. Would that be an intriguing matchup for you?
Oh no, bro, like I said before, man, we got a lot of different names, bro, that's in the rankings right now that is a blessing, cause right now how the division is moving and how it's circulating, bro. It's gonna be a minute, man, before that title is really opened up. But right now, just focus on what we doing. But any name that they give us in that ranking, boy, it's a blessing. Boy, it's a blessing. For sure, man. But shout out to D-Rod, man.
That's what's up, yeah.
Congratulations to
Put a bow on that one. You had Patricio Pitbull, who ended up getting a victory over Dan Ige. What do you think about that fight?
That fight was trash, bro. That fight was trash, bro. That was not the fight I was expecting, unfortunately, man. I was definitely thinking about two guys getting in the center, bro, and really kind of letting it go. I imagine Pitbull using this grappling, obviously, bro.
I wasn't stopping you for a reason, but one reason why that didn't happen.
Why?
When two guys got that crazy power like that
shit, bro.
He said, "Shut that shit up."
No, that's that soft shit. Nigga. You do everybody else like that, but then he was like, "Look, I send guys to the king. I ain't trying to go to him." But at the end of the day, you know what this game, has a lot of risk in. And I feel like if you are afraid of another person in their power, like that means it just shows where you deficient in, which is the defense, right? The responsibility to keep your hands up, being able to counter, being able to whatever. So you can't throw with that same reckless abandonment like you do with everybody else. Because now you got another heavy hitter. So, my thing is just tighten up that defense with that offense, right? So that's my personal opinion. Because even with myself, bro, I still get busy with dudes, you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't matter, who it is. But I had to learn, it wasn't that I had to be timid of them. I had to recognize what I was doing wrong in order to keep myself safe. But I still get to, wring these hands and put these hands on them. So, with that being said, bro, it wasn't the best fight between both of those guys. And with Pitbull, I feel like he just did enough to get the win. I feel like Dan Ige did have some opportunities, whatever that he did. You know what I'm saying? Got to throw some good little hammers on him. I think he rocked him too with like a head kick.
He did. Pitbull
nasty.
tried to go
tried to, and he caught him, but.
Yeah.
Then what he started doing, backpedaling again, right? It's just like, nah, you gotta stay on these guys. And I'm not gonna lie, like Dan Ige was able to go through that third round, look different conditioning. But when you ain't doing nothing, bro, of course you got good conditioning. No, but like if you really put it, because that's what Dan Ige usually do. Like he moves forward, he walks guys down, and like I said, he tends to kind of slow down over the rounds. But yeah, he had a good little gas tank, nigga, not doing nothing.
I take nothing away from that. I think this was an intriguing matchup in general. Let me look that up a little bit. Anyway, I think this is an intriguing matchup in general, just because obviously you have Patricio Pitbull, who's older, coming to the UFC. I thought the UFC didn't really do him any favors, obviously with great risk, great reward, but you take on a very tough, long-rangey, stylistic matchup in Yair Rodriguez, and then you fight Dan Ige, somebody who's more of your makeup and size. Pitbull isn't the biggest guy, as we know, as far as from a length and height standpoint. So I wasn't surprised that the fight went how it went because, Pitbull, you go 0-2, making that transition from a rival promotion. It's kind of tough for you to really continue to get these main card slots and these big fights. So it's like, at that point, what do you do with somebody like Pitbull? It's like maybe the UFC cuts you or you're fighting on the prelims. You don't want to take that far step back because you've been fighting in these big moments for your entire career.
Right.
So I wasn't surprised that he fought the fight more tentative. He almost put Ige away, and he used his wrestling. He was a good, crafty veteran performance. I don't blame him because I understand what he had at risk. I was surprised a little bit that Ige didn't pick up the intensity more, that he wasn't, at some point in time, I feel like, I thought Ige, I won't say crash out, but, just say, fuck it. It is what it is. I'm probably on my way to losing a decision, so I might as well just try to increase my odds by doing whatever I can do. And Ige did have that moment where he almost finished Pitbull, but,
You just waited too long, man.
I thought it was a good fight.
It was a cool fight, but it didn't live up. It ain't live up to what
I understand what you're saying. This is something, I feel like it was the type of match that you would see in the sparring room. I think, is that a good analysis?
No, because I feel like if they were sparring, they'd be banging. I feel like we'll see a better fight if they were sparring. But like, I get what you're saying.
But I'm just saying that's like the level of competition that we see in practice sometimes.
All the time. Yeah.
Not a crazy frantic pace. You're going with the guy that you haven't seen before. You're kind of feeling him out. He's good at this. And, sometimes it leads to a little bit of a tentative performance because, you got the next round, to get to a guy. But with everything on the line, I was a bit surprised. But I thought both showed a good account of themselves. And Pitbull, you know, once you get that off your back in the UFC, you know,
right.
getting out of the loss column, you know, maybe you could open up a
Mhm.
little bit. He said he wants to fight Aaron Pico next, and I think that's an interesting fight. That fight with Mozart Ivoyev.
Is that still on?
No, it ended up falling out. So,
All right,
so,
okay.
so it seems like he needs a dance partner, and obviously you said it wasn't very entertaining. So he probably didn't take all of that much damage. So maybe that could happen for him.
Okay, good shout out too, by the way.
For sure. Michael Johnson, St. Louis's own,
Man.
part of the Stain Gang. You know what I mean?
Blessings. Yeah.
Michael Johnson defeated Daniel Zelhuber. What are your thoughts on that fight?
No, it was a great fight, bro. Great performance by Mike Johnson. I mean, he just showed young buck, you know what I'm saying? He still got it. Just seeing, you know, still the hand speed in Michael Johnson, bro. Durable as well, you know what I mean? He took some shots too. But ate them mugs, bro, and kept walking them down. I love the pressure from Mike. But just that good crisp boxing, fast hand speed, man, and just being able to bite down on that mouthpiece, bro. He made it a tough fight for that dude. What was the dude he fought though? What was his name?
Daniel Zelhuber.
Yeah. And dude, you know, tough too. He's a good fighter. I've seen a couple of his fights. But Mike, I think he was just, you know, more experienced than young dude, and you know, really, I think he dropped him too. Then
he did
drop him bad. Ain't knock him out, but he's close.
Almost
close. Yeah. So I think this dude got outclassed and outworked by Mike Johnson. But man, yeah, shout out to my man. Yeah.
I think in this fight, you know, you got a reminder of, you know, we did just as a whole. I didn't realize Michael Johnson was on a 2-fight win streak coming into that fight, and now on a 3-fight win streak. But you know, if you look at Michael Johnson, I don't know the time frame, so I don't kill him in this, but maybe 6 to 8 years ago, he's fighting guys like Tony, you know, not Tony Ferguson, but guys like Khabib, and you know, knocking out Dustin Poirier and fighting Justin Gaethje. You know, I think sometimes we forget Michael Johnson at his peak and what he's been able to do.
Yeah, he fought Tony too though.
He beat Tony. He was, you know, in Tony's, you know, right before Tony went on that crazy streak, he beat Tony Ferguson.
Yeah.
But, you know, I was a little earlier, I feel like. But long story being short, I think Zelhuber sees the record and just goes, you know, this is easy. He's 39 years old. You know, this is money in the bank.
Yeah, them old dudes, boy, they still be getting it, boy. God damn, boy. Usman came up out the wheelchair, got ready with us, man. So yeah, man. But that's where it showed like experience. You know, comes a long way in this game. Experience comes a long way. But you know, buddy, little dude be back. You know, but I think it's just Mike Johnson time.
Patient, good hand speed, great pressure, not being deterred by the kicks. Being able to not chase a finish when, you know, hey, maybe I won't be able to put this kid away. I just got to beat him for 3 rounds. You know, he joked himself. What, Michael Johnson won a decision? This is crazy. You know, like, you know, but just being a veteran, understanding that you have 3 wins now and what that means for you in the division. You know, it's not like Michael Johnson's a young man. So if you stack 3-4 wins together in that division, you know, you're talking about big implications. So I was entertained. I thought Zelhuber could have done himself a little bit more favors by not just blasting kicks. I think Eric Nixick was telling him to do that, just blast kicks with the middle. But, you know, pairing it with the hands, and easier said than done. Michael Johnson, that hand speed and the power, he can spark anybody. Like, but, you know, just giving yourself a better opportunity. But with that being said, you know, I think he'll be back. Who would you like to see Michael Johnson fight next? Interesting, right?
Yeah. Get my man up there. Got it, man. I want to see, man. Look, I know it'd be wild for me to say that, but I don't mind something. Give my man somebody rank, bro.
I'll give you one right now that I think
ahead.
I'd be cool with. Money Morcano. I think that'd be a hell of a fight. Why not? Shit.
You think Money gonna take that though? Show me the money.
I think Morcano be like easy money, brother.
You think that's what he'd say?
I think it'd be a great fight. Not saying it necessarily makes the most sense, but it seems like people. D-Rod wouldn't rank that he fought Kevin Holland. Like, it just
right.
And then you had Pitbull fight Dan Ige, and you know, like I feel like nowadays people are saying, "Fuck it, let me fight anybody."
Right.
You know?
I mean, that's how you supposed to be.
So,
to be honest with you.
If we're not playing the ranked game, why not give my guy Michael Johnson a chance to fight Money Morcano?
Okay.
I think that'd be a hell of a fight.
Okay, I love that fight. But I mean, hold on, bro. And speaking of it, bro, like how many people we come out of Marquette, bro, with fighters, bro.
Good amount, man. We got a
good amount of people, man, that came from Marquette, man, and became fighters, bro. And
yeah,
MMA.
A good amount. I could think at least probably 10.
It's wild.
But you know,
That's even wild to even say that, bro.
Y'all two to definitely make it to the UFC. That's dope. You know, I'm not sure everybody knows that on air. That obviously you and Michael Johnson, myself as well. We all went to Marquette High School here in St. Louis.
Shout out to Brittany Cloudy. Shout out to DiMaggio. What's some other brothers, man, that kind of made it out? What's his name?
You got Danny?
Yeah, Danny, man. Good people,
Danny
good people.
Morales,
Yeah. But no, man, I mean, everybody, you know what I'm saying, kind of like, it again, you know, on that wave and on that focused on trying to build their name up in the course of getting to the UFC. And I feel like even with DiMaggio, shout out to him, you know what I'm saying? Like, he going to do big things. Yeah, he going to do big things, man, pretty soon. But no, that's just a crazy stat, though. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Marquette.
Do you see Brendan Allen fight?
Nah, I didn't watch it. How'd that go?
So I just talk about that.
I know Brendan Allen won, but I ain't watched the fight, though.
Brendan Allen was getting busy with Vittoria early. It was really on the feet where Brendan Allen was getting to Vittoria. There was some grappling. Vittoria did a good job of getting himself up, but he had Vittoria hurt and busted up pretty good in the first round and then kind of continued in the second round. Vittoria, of course, is a tough dude, made it competitive, got some good looks in himself, but I thought Brendan Allen won a sound. You know, I think I had maybe 2-1 going to whatever, but yeah. Brendan Allen did a good job mixing some grappling in when he needed to, but it was really a kickboxing fight. And Brendan Allen just looked to be a little bit crisper with the hands and, countering well. Vittoria was tough, though. He took it like a champ. The only thing I could think of when I was watching the fight, when I made the comment about Vittoria having all that power, you're like, who's he knocked out? And I was like, that'd be funny in this fight if that happened. But, Brendan Allen handled himself looked amazing in that fight.
I gotta go back and
they won fight of the night. Max,
they won fight of the night.
They won fight of the night.
Okay, over Max and
Max.
Dustin Poirier. Okay.
Max and Max Holloway was confused. He was like, "Hey, tell Dana he made a mistake." It's what it is. But I'm thinking, let some of the other guys eat, man.
Right. Nah, he rich already. That little 50 ain't doing enough for y'all. That little 50 ain't doing enough for them. They be all right. But that's one thing I would say though that. That's wild. That's finna come out my mouth. Like, you can't get whooped, bro, and then get the 50K. I know you survived, nigga, but like, know what you telling me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Did Vittoria have any type of success?
No, he did. I mean, I thought Brendan clearly was winning.
Okay.
But if you look at from a strike output standpoint, they both were landing.
Okay.
I thought Brendan just landed better shots.
Okay.
More effective, just kind of the cleaner strikes. I feel like it's a conversation that we talk about all the time, but I feel like significant strikes is like kind of a misleading stat. Because like they count like, body kicks and stuff like that too, leg kicks. There's obviously strikes that are still significant, but it's like
regardless of the damage input, whatever.
There are some strikes that are far more significant. Let's just say I landed, 2 body kicks back to back, but and you landed a 1-2-3. I take the 1-2-3 over the body kicks a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? Like,
depending on the body kick, but I hear you though.
Depending on depend.
Yeah.
Like Max Holloway was landing those kicks on Dustin.
Yeah, those some nice.
It was nice. It was some nice kicks, but it was really the hands what really giving Dustin a problem. But yeah, it was a good fight, man. I thought we were gonna be on a record-breaking pace. I'm not gonna lie. On the prelims, like early prelims, everybody was getting finished. There was a fight with 2 females. I forget the name. Don't kill me, but I think she won by a knee. She ended up getting the other bonus.
Okay. I probably seen the highlight though on Instagram.
Jimmy Crute got him a submission. Ryan Spann got a submission.
Okay.
So like the first 4 or 5 fights, there were nothing but finishes, and then after that it was just decision. So I thought we were gonna be on a record-breaking pace as far as that goes. So yeah, you didn't really watch most of those, so we can just
No, I ain't watching none of the prelims for real.
Any takeaways from that 318 card? Like any last thoughts just about the fight in New Orleans? Lil Wayne being there, implications. They did mention a little bit about what's to come. Dana at the presser, as far as the UFC White House stuff, and Dana was telling everybody that obviously this is like a year away. He's not really thinking about it. They mentioned John Jones potentially fighting, and he kind of shot it down, saying it was like ultimately too risky for him to even think about putting John Jones in a place like that. I thought that was something funny that came out of 318. But I thought it was a good event all throughout. Any last thoughts on 318?
Nah, I mean 318 was a fun card. Got to watch it at the STL Boxing Academy, man. That we had a good time over there, man. You know, the whole team over there just rocking and just enjoying the fights. But you know, nah, man. To be honest with you, they put on an amazing fight card over there in New Orleans. And bro, to be honest with you, for real, what it gives me, bro, it always give me that itch, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, definitely want to step back in there immediately, man. But you know, I got things I got to focus on here at home and stuff like that. But regardless, though, nah, man, shout out to those guys, man. But when we back though, woo wee, bro, it's gonna be, you know what I'm saying, something something to remember. That's what I'm gonna put it right there. Something to remember.
There we go. So you watched Mario Barrios take on Manny Pacquiao. I didn't really get to see much besides the not prelims, the highlights. Excuse me.
Yeah, yeah. So we had the split screen up, so we was watching both the UFC and the boxing fight at the same time, and you know, kind of keeping my eyes on both of them. I believe in when it first got started, talking about Pacquiao's fight. You know, I was watching Kevin Holland's fight. So Kevin was fighting, you know what I'm saying? He got dropped a couple times, so you know what I'm saying? My eyes were definitely locked in on that one. When that boy had that boy legs wobbly, you know what I'm saying? Definitely was tuned in. I was like, get him. But at the end of the day, Pacquiao did his thing, bro, in this fight. Really a lot of, you know, underdog. I think he was like, shoot, something crazy. A crazy number, being an underdog, like plus 800 or something. It was something crazy, something ridiculous. But regardless, actually, let me check that. Let me check that.
Yeah, that's not surprising. You know, him coming out of retirement and you know his age.
Yeah,
I think
his age. That's what really got people.
Which not to go back on 318, but dogs were winning last night.
Yeah.
Finishing
old folks were winning.
Yeah, like if I was betting last night, boy, I would have been spanked. I ain't get. Whew.
Yeah, I'm lying. Yeah, plus 210. But regardless though, it was still a great fight for Manny Pacquiao. You can still like see, you know what I mean, him walking him down. The hand, not even just the hand speed, but just like the activity from the hands. You know how many combinations he would land. As soon as Barrios would like land a jab, he'll slip and then come back, bop, 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 you know, and just constantly keeping pressure on dudes, you know. And was taking good shots too, and still working his defense, walking him down, just nonstop. And it seemed like my man was just having a good time out there. Like he didn't care about winning or losing. He was just happy to be in that ring, bro. Which was also cool to see. And even when they made that decision to make it a draw, right? You know, I really feel like they kind of robbed him of that victory, bro, because he definitely did go out there and do enough. I feel like, you know, in winning, you know, the majority of the rounds in that boxing fight. And he definitely, you know, showed out. But, you know, boxing, bro. You know what I'm saying?
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
No, but it's kind of funny because I didn't watch the fight in its entirety. Just saw some highlights, but I saw the internet pretty much saying the same thing, that they thought it was, you know, a pretty unfair decision. I'm just impressed by Manny Pacquiao's ability to come back and still be able to box at a high level against relevant competition. With his age and, you know, him stepping away, you just don't want to see somebody come back and show a poor account of themselves. Because, you know, for young fans, sometimes it's their first time seeing a Manny Pacquiao fight.
Yeah.
You know, they don't realize, you know, the heights Manny Pacquiao was out in like 04 or 2008, you know, just the giant he was as far as the draw he was in boxing and, you know, him just being so big. But for him to come back and have a great performance, even getting a draw, even if he deserved the victory, I'm just happy it went well for Manny Pacquiao.
And it was for a belt, too, so my man could have beat George Foreman.
Being the oldest person to come back.
Yeah, because he did it at 45, and Pacquiao was 46 at the time and like I said, bro, looked great too, man. Looked great, bro. You know, you even had Floyd acting like he was gonna come back if Manny ended up winning, bro.
That's so funny.
Floyd, go ahead, bro. Sit down.
You're right. Let Manny have his moment. That's just petty right there. So, do you think they should run it back?
Who, Floyd and Manny?
No, Manny and Mario Barrios.
Nah, you know, there's other competitions, there's other fights out there for Manny Pacquiao to take, you know. I love, you know, I mean, like I said, he looked great, bro. So I wouldn't mind to see another little scrapper that he can fight or that he can tussle with. But that being 46 years old, you know, it's still the father of time, because like, you know, no telling how long it'd take before he even step back into that ring, right? And then guess what? He's 48.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
true.
It's just but you know, if he does get anything, you know, let it be fun, let it be something that he knows that he can, you know, keep up with the competition.
Yeah, respect to that. Brings us to called the, you know, a DM debacle, if you will.
What you call it?
A DM debacle. Very famous Irishman.
It should be the new segment.
I try not to get into people's business, but obviously, Conor McGregor was in the news earlier this week. He was on Instagram chatting up Azealia Banks, an artist.
Okay.
And he sent her some interesting photos and left some interesting messages. Did you see any of that?
I ain't see all of it. Say that, nigga. I seen parts of it.
Did you see the back and forth? I didn't watch. I didn't see the unedited. Explicit photos. I saw the
I want to save my eyes.
They're blurred, but I just saw Conor. It seemed like he was butt naked.
Stripped down, boy.
And he said, "Don't be a rat because rats get caught."
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
And that's wild just to send that and then send that message right behind it. Like why you sending that to her there, bro? If you really felt that type of way. But then hold on, it wasn't no accident. You just felt like you can just send this, unwanted, it seemed like too. It ain't like it's something that she asked for, you know what I mean? It was like enticing, like, yeah, send that to me, baby. Yeah, put some weights on it. My man just chose out of his mind to, do something like that, send it to her, and then threaten her to be like, yeah, rats get in trouble if they expose. She was like, oh, you must not know who I am.
Yeah.
Which I didn't even know.
She's a crash out king.
Yeah.
Queen, crash out queen. No disrespect. I don't want no problems with Azealia Banks.
Because she was not playing with Buddy. You know what I mean?
She's one to air it out. If you've ever seen an interview with Azealia Banks or seen her back and forth with people in hip hop, she spares no expense. I just thought it was crazy, right? Now, there's many things that we could discuss. Conor's relationship, him and his lady, that's none of my business. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the arrangement is. She posted a picture of him the next day, so I guess it's cool at home. But as far as reaching out to young women, this is my only thing. Usually, if you're going to send something risky like that, right, you have a feeler. You might send just a little body pic with the chest out or something. He just went for the full Monty. Like, we talk about taking a hard shot, right? You ever played 2K and say, like, good shot selection, bad shot selection, terrible shot selection, pulling up from 3 basketball courts away. That's crazy. No setup, no nothing. Just this what it is. And then the threat afterward is crazy.
No, that dude don't care, bro.
Put his face in it, everything. He didn't even.
He ain't hide it. Like, we would have told about the tattoo, but something, bro. Like,
horrible setup, though. Like,
I'm just trying to figure out, bro. Because, like I said, I ain't finna look at the pic, bro. But
hell no.
Like, what was the purpose of the weight, bro? I'm trying to figure that out, though. Even my nigga was like, bro, I'm in here lifting weights. Like,
you
trying to stretch it out or something? Like, what?
I don't know. I don't look. Everybody freak meter is different. We don't keep
this. What do you say? Because back in the day, he said he had black. You know what I'm saying? He talking about from the waist down or something like that. But like, bro, I ain't had to never put no weights on my thing. You know what I'm saying? To be proud. I'm just being honest, bro. You know what I'm saying? We been blessed. It hangs on its own.
Right?
You don't need nothing to stretch it out.
I've never put a workout regimen for anything else besides, just like bis and tries, quads, hammies, things like that. I think there's more of a teachable moment, when you going down the DMs, you got to make sure you set things up properly if you want to. I'm not judging. Your freak meter is your freak meter. Do what you want to do. But to just go in blindly and just throw your shot like that, that's crazy to me.
Nah, yeah. And I ain't gonna lie, he got a good one at home, I guess, bro. Because the CEO that's going viral right now, he wish he had one of those back at home. Like, he wouldn't be tripping.
Everything cool. Buddy lost his job and everything.
Yeah, I heard about that. That shit crazy. You can't even watch no sport games without, you know what I'm saying? They got the whole mascots going crazy on you.
Yet again, I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Not that this is that type of show, but if we just keep it 1,000, who takes their side chick to a concert with millions of people like watch it? That's crazy.
He just didn't think he was gonna get exposed like that.
But
he was all up in the top corner. He like, hey,
no. They shimmying. It's other people in that box. Like, come on, bro. The shimmy is crazy. Like, we gonna pretend there's nobody else here?
Yeah, no. Somebody knew about that because if you see homegirl off to the side, she cheesing and stuff. Like, boy, she just knew this. She was like, actually, hey, cameraman, go ahead and get this camera up here real quick, man. We about to go viral real quick. But regardless, though, like you said, man, just a lot going on, man. But kind of just different, bro. He just don't care. I mean, he was just back out in the club, man. Just Yet again, bro. Where the hoes at?
Conor
Just
can do what he wants.
It's
Crazy.
Yeah, bro.
Huh? Shout out to. I can't even say shout out to. I don't know what to say to close that segment. We just move forward.
We just move on.
We just move on. The UFC will be on ABC next week. I think they're going to Abu Dhabi. You got Robert Whittaker taking on Reiner de Ritter. What do you think? What are your thoughts about that fight? Anybody you give the edge to? How do you think that fight will play out?
That's a fun fight. Yeah, that's a fun fight. You know, Robert. You know, he need a little win too, don't he? 2-fight losing streak right now. 3-fight losing streak. It's 2. I think it's 2. I don't think he just had a win, did he?
No, he's coming. He hasn't fought since Hamza, right?
Yeah, Duplessis beat him, and then Hamza beat him, I believe, if I ain't mistaken. So, you know, lost to 2 great guys who actually fighting for the belt coming up soon. But, you know, the dude that he fight, you know, I feel like he got a lot to prove still. And fighting Robert Whittaker and going out there against him, really gonna show, you know, what level he is on, you know, to definitely fight, you know what I mean, to be a potential next, not just contender, but, you know, for the title eliminator. So this should be a good fight, man. I don't know what Robert Whittaker been on, how he been training, or, you know what I'm saying, like what still motivates him to, you know, obviously try to get back to the belt. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, I think he got a big fight in front of him that's a big threat, you know, so he definitely got to be locked in for this one.
No, for sure. I looked it up. Just come off that one loss, so he beat Ikram, Askarov, and then obviously, but
so it was DDP then Ikram then Hamza.
But you know that loss to Hamza was a
yeah,
tough
that was
one.
bad.
You know?
Yeah, that was bad.
When you got to get like dental surgery, like, you know, it's like pretty intense. But RDR's made a really big impact in a very short period of time. I wasn't really familiar with RDR's fights before the UFC, but he's got himself here in a very short period of time. Robert Whittaker is extremely well-rounded, but we have seen a couple times him having trouble in the grappling department. Obviously, Hamzat speaks for himself. And then I feel, did Drake give him a little problems with the grappling?
You talking about Robert?
Yeah, gave Robert Whittaker. Was it really just striking? I don't really remember. But either way,
yeah, striking.
I think it's an interesting fight. Robert Whittaker obviously has, you know, been a champion and somebody who's been in the top 10 for the majority of time, probably his time at middleweight. I'm just excited. I think it'll be a good fight. I don't know that I have a strong prediction, but it'll be interesting to see if RDR can pull this off. I'm intrigued. So I'll leave a prediction pending, but I think it'll be a great fight. I think the fans will win on this one. Also on that card, you got Poirer versus Marcus McGee. As I said before, I think that's a tough place to put Marcus McGee. Great opportunity. If I'm Marcus McGee, I'm pumped. But Poirer.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Nah, this is a dope fight. But massive opportunity for him though. Yeah, it's a big opportunity for McGee.
Yeah, I just think that it's it's a little early. Like, you know, this is a huge step up in competition. Obviously, I mean, last card, horrible job. But I would feel very comfortable if I was in a better, and it is nothing personal, Marcus McGee. I just think the level of competition that, you know, Marcus McGee is taking on without really fighting anybody. You'll find a former champion, and especially someone who's, you know, looked really good, you know, coming off some good performances. But this is really your first opportunity. That I feel like that's a tough fight for McGee. I think
it's levels to everything, but you know what I mean. You just never know, right?
Of course.
You know, and now you got a young dog who, you know, definitely finna get fed. You know what I mean. And it's really just gonna show, you know what I'm saying, like where your level is truly, right? You know,
Good
instead of having to fight, you know, so many different fights, you know, in order to get to that point. So, yeah, man, it'd be good for him.
I think that's a great fight. Do you want to put a little 25, 50 piece on this one?
I love how you be doing that shit. Yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and go with McGee, man. He might
no,
shock.
We spoke about this a couple months ago.
He might shock a lot of folks, bro. I like how you fight, man. He fight good, bro. Poirer is definitely a different type of beast too. But let's see it though.
Yeah.
25?
We
do 25.
25. I'll let you
25
pick.
what?
You're picking.
Pull-ups.
All right, 25 pull-ups. All right, let's do
it. You know, I've been on my pull-up game, dog.
All
Trying to
right.
get like Hannibal the King.
There we go. We got Bryce Mitchell also taking on Saeed Nurmagomedov. He'll make his debut. Bryce will at 135.
Oh, Bryce Mitchell moving down?
Yeah, after that last fight.
Yeah.
Which, I get it. What do you think?
I don't think he was ever small though for the weight class, but I feel him though. Regardless though, you got to do something different now.
I think he just found himself in trouble enough at that division where I think Josh Emmett beat him real bad. Josh Emmett, Ilya Topuria, and then what's my guy name? Fighting nerds.
Joe Silva.
Yeah. So I think it made Gene Silva, yeah, Gene. I get what you're saying. But I think he just found himself in trouble enough there. The power for those guys, I think it's just been devastating for him. And I guess if he can make 35, why not? What do you think about the opportunity at 135 and taking on somebody like Saeed Nurmagomedov?
I don't know much about Saeed, but
he's more of a grappler too, in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
He strikes, but he looks to grapple a lot.
You got that Muslim beard, right? Low cut,
lower cut. So I show you a picture of Saeed.
Yeah, but
he's fighting the UFC.
Bryce always gonna be a threat, no matter what. So it'd be interesting to see. I mean, I really don't have no much comments. I had to see how my man operate at 135, but they ain't give him no slouch though.
No, they gave him a pretty good fight.
Yeah, I know him. Yeah.
And I think this is a good opportunity for him to get himself, right in the mix at 135. I think it's a smart move by Bryce. If you're gonna take on a competitor at a new weight class, you might as well take somebody who's been successful and probably move you into contention sooner than later. I think it's a good idea. Kind of like what Aljo did when he moved up. Just kind of find yourself in something that's gonna move you forward. I'm intrigued to see Bryce Mitchell make his his debut at 135. I'm sure he'll give a great post-fight interview if he wins, so it's always good TV. And then the last one we'll talk about from that card is Shara taking on Marc-Andre Barrios.
Shara? Yeah,
Shara. How do you pronounce his name? Shara Magomedov.
Yeah, who he fighting?
Marc-Andre Barrios.
Man. They just threw that shit together. That should be a good fight for sure. But Buddy just had a nice little knockout on somebody though.
He did.
I was surprised, bro.
I know Marc-Andre is somebody who's kind of been up and down in the UFC.
It was a nice knockout too. Who he knock out? Boy?
I'll look it up for you. But he's somebody who's been a little up and down in the UFC.
Yeah.
So I think this is good because Shara came out. This is his first. It's coming off a loss, right, against MVP, right?
MVP, yeah. We got exposed a little bit, but I don't see Buddy making that same type of.
No, but I still think it just kind of makes sense for him to get that opportunity.
Right.
Let me look. He knocked out Bruno Silva.
Yeah, that's who it was. Yeah, and Bruno just got a win, didn't he? Yeah. So,
no, I think.
No, Bruno Silva. No,
I think he got cut after that.
Yeah, cold blooded. Yeah, cold game.
But
cut that out.
But no, I think it's gonna be a good fight for Shara. See if he can get himself back. If not, Marc-Andre can build some steam and maybe get on the right trajectory for putting 2-3 victories together. That changes it a bit for him. So I think it'll be a good fight. Marc-Andre low-key is one of the people I feel like kill or be killed, man. I feel like he either spins or gets spin. So I think it'll be a good fight.
You said he was up last fight. Yeah, he going down. It's a little trend that's gonna be going. But no, shout out to those guys. Yeah.
And Mosar Ivoyev, we spoke about it before, pulled out of the fight with Aaron Pico supposed to make his debut. We spoke about it before. Do you want to see that fight go on in the future, or would you rather see him be paired with somebody like Patricio Pitbull or
why not? Yeah, why not? I mean, shoot, the fight never happened in Bellator either. So, I mean, it'd be fun just to watch it in the UFC and see these guys really, work it out. And if I'm Pico, it don't matter who. Just give me somebody, right? And now that Pitbull got an official win in the UFC.
Over ranked opponent too?
Say less, bro. Come on.
Come
on, let's get it. So, that sounds good, bro.
Thank you for watching another episode of Brick Brothers Podcast. Please like, share, subscribe, be a brick.